Namaste. Welcome back to Mindful Serenity Yoga, or Waking Up in a Busy World. And on this very stormy, snowy day, we're going to continue with the answering of questions from my question jar, full of many soulful questions to be answered by someone who does not have all the answers for sure by any means. So I'm just going to continue with this exercise that I'm doing more for myself to help me learn, and I encourage everyone to do this at some point. I think it's a wonderful exercise for helping us to assimilate the learning that we gain from all different resources. It helps us to determine what stuff is really sticking inside of us, and it's usually that stuff that matters. So that's why I like to do this exercise, and it also helps with my speaking skills, though as you probably are learning from listening to me, there is still lots of room for practice. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to set the timer beforehand, and then I'll begin reading the question. What is it that prevents people from living to their fullest potential? What is it that prevents people from living to their fullest potential? Take a deep breath. Ground myself. Just all that does is helps me to ground. When we take a breath, it kind of anchors us into the present moment, and it helps us get out of our ego that wants to answer things in a variety of ways just to kind of prove that it knows something, and it allows the deeper self to answer. So the question again was, what is it that prevents people from living to their fullest potential? These questions don't get any easier, do they? What is it that prevents people from living to their fullest potential? I think what this person is talking about maybe is ambition, and what helps us not to succeed or fulfill our dreams, maybe. When he says to our fullest potential, that we're fully capable of doing. And I do believe that as human beings we're much more capable than we realize. We are often limited by our ego minds that have been brought about by years and years of conditioning in this lifetime, and all the conditioning that say our ancestors have learned in the past, because I truly believe we somehow genetically absorb the learning that their ancestors have learned. It's like an inherited process so that we survive as a species. So we have all this conditioning and all this learning that tells us that we are limited, that there is only so much we can do as a human being. One of the things I think that prevents us from living to our full potential then is this notion that we are limited. This idea that as a human being we are this body, and this body is a finite vessel with border lines, and it can only do so much. So as long as we see ourselves as a body in a dense matter, thus the body, we are going to be limited by that dense matter we are in, or are. For most people don't make the distinction between body and the little me, or the person that we believe we are. So that is one of the things maybe that limits us, is our belief system that we are this body. And this body itself is finite. It's at the mercy of the world around it. It's, at any point can contact disease, become ill, get injured, be injured by somebody or something in the external world, and it will die. So we are constantly thinking in terms of matter and materialism, and this body is the big part of the matter, materialism, that we focus on, and it in itself being a thing, being a biological process, and we're not just nouns, we're processes, according to a lot of people like Deepak Chopra. We are verbs more so than nouns, so this process of us in this body we believe to be limited because the body will expire at a certain point, and that is reality. All things in the physical world will come and they will go. There's nothing permanent in what we're viewing out there in the world. It's all temporary and unpredictable. So as long as we're thinking in terms of that, we are going to be limited by those realities, or those pseudo-realities. The other thing that helps to limit us, and really limits us, is our core beliefs. Those internal beliefs we have not only about ourselves as being this body, but a belief of ourselves, of who we are as these roles we play and these little personas that we developed around us for what some people would call ego or little me. So this belief system that's situated in the subconscious mind rather than the conscious mind is very much ingrained in our minds, ingrained in our ideas of who we are. So all the voices we've had from the past that said we'll only be able to do this much and we'll never be able to do that and whatnot get absorbed inside us, and they themselves will limit us, because I believe the body, I believe our lives are actually a result of our beliefs. Our beliefs are so powerful, and they will create more or less the world around us, because we will live in terms of self-fulfilling prophecy and what we can do, what we can't do, and the world's going to be whatever we see it as, because we'll be looking at it through the perceptions that we're holding about it, which are most often the result of our belief systems. So if we believe, for example, that we will get ill, and most people in this world prescribe to that or ascribe to that belief system, that we are at the risk of being ill, then we will get ill. If, however, and so many people purport this truth from Joel S. Anderson and Robert Murphy to Bruce Lipton and Melissa Rankin is a doctor who talks a lot about the placebo effect. If we believe that we will not get sick, then we won't. So that's the proposition. What people are proposing is that our belief systems actually can affect our physiological makeup. They can affect our cells, can affect our immune systems, can affect our eyesight even. There's people there've been done studies on people who have DID or dissociative identity disorders, most often used to being called multiple personalities and whatnot, who will have different fugues that they go into, different personalities that they go into, and in one personality, the person may need glasses because the mind believes that this person is this person who has glasses, and when the person goes into another personality, they may not require glasses because the mind fully believes that that is who the person is. Someone who wears glasses, someone who doesn't wear glasses. So that's and there is this challenge given to most people who wear glasses at some point to, for 21 days, try to convince yourself that you don't need glasses and see if that actually helps with your eyesight. So anyway, our beliefs do limit us because they can make us sick if we believe we're sick. And of course, if we don't believe that we're capable of finishing a task, say, that's going to help us live our full potential, then we are less likely to go after that task and attempt to achieve that task. So that can limit us in that way as well. We need to believe, we need to get to the realization of who we truly are, where we know, which is beyond believing, that we are limitless, that we are from a greater source, that we are have a higher potential, higher energy level that we can manifest if we're willing to do so. So we can change those core beliefs that we have that limit us, and we can, for example, re-establish a more positive belief. But I do want to make the distinction between the beliefs in our subconscious system and what our mind does on the conscious level. We hear our mind and we know what's going on in the mind, but in the subconscious level we're often unaware of what it actually is. So I could affirm in the mirror 100 times that I'm well, I am well, I'm well, but if my subconscious belief is that I am ill, then this is going to have more power than my conscious belief. The idea is to bring this belief up that I believe that I'm unwell, and then change it on the conscious level. So that's a little tricky. So affirmations only work so far. We really need to get to our core beliefs that limit us and change those so that we can live our full potential. If you want to be an Olympic athlete, then you have to start with your core beliefs and believe that you're able to accomplish that which you're seeking to accomplish. It's more than just affirming and doing things on the conscious level in order to change our limiting beliefs. So the reason why most people live unfulfilled lives or lives that do not reach their full potential, I believe, is because of their belief systems. It's what they've been conditioned to believe, that they are limited in a myriad of ways. And we need to get to those core beliefs and change them so that the person can live their full potential. We're all capable of it yet. We are just so conditioned to think otherwise. And so let's reprogram ourselves, reprogram our minds. Let's attempt to change those beliefs so that they're more life-affirming, so that you can go out and do that thing and become that thing that you truly want to be. Well, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.